Salome, would you like to say a few words?
Uh, yes, hello everybody. Hello Betsy. Thanks so much for inviting me again to show my film here for people interested in animals, in animal communication, in wolves, hopefully as well. And just a few words how I got the idea to make this film. It's rather unusual how I got familiar with animal communication because I saw on another film shoot a diploma in the house of a farm woman who said a diploma for animal communication. I didn't have no idea what this was. This was about 10 years ago. And then I asked that woman, what is that? And this very grounded farm woman explained me that she took this class where she could bring a photo of her cow and the teacher would communicate with the cow and hear from the cow that there is a problem on their farm. That's why she didn't give milk anymore. And then this woman went home, solved the problem between her husband and his father, or she talked about it, and they could find an agreement, and immediately the cow would give milk again. So that was my first introduction into animal communication. I was very, what can I say, compelled, amazed. I couldn't quite believe this story, but I felt very attracted to it, and so I decided to make some research and get to know more about this subject. So I started in Zurich, where I'm living. I found a wonderful animal communicator who invited me to take a class. I was very nervous in that class, and I realized I was blocked. I didn't get anything, but I saw that the other students, they did quite well. And so I stayed curious, and I thought, well, the others might be able to do it. I will never be able to do it, but that's okay. I want to make a film about it. And then I didn't get funding to make it. We made another film. And during the filming of that other film, I met this little puppy dog, Bina, who I couldn't stop thinking anymore about her. I never wanted a dog. I never had a dog. I saw her every other 3 weeks. I saw her growing up, and I just grew fond of her. So then I decided, totally not what I expected from me, I suddenly decided I really want to have this dog. Although I'm traveling a lot, I don't really have the perfect life for a dog. And everything my mind told me wasn't strong enough, because my heart just said, yes, I want this dog. And so then our journey began, and also the journey about animal communication, because then I really needed animal communication who could help us with some behavioral issues, some health issues from my dog. And then it got all rolling, and I realized this is such a wonderful thing. I really, really want to share it with a lot of people, that they know what kind of possibilities we have to talk with animals. And so the film grew. It started in Switzerland, but then I also went to England, where I met the founder of the trust technique, who has a wonderful technique to make people to find peace and trust with their animal, and the animal with their people. It's all about animal connection. And then I went further to Arizona, Sedona, where I met Maia Kincaid. And she was so kind that we could film with her a few days. And it was amazing what she all told me about animal communication. It was all very impressive, also to meet her animals. And so the film grew from the beginning to the end. Even in the editing room, I still did some major changes. And so now you're going to see what came out of all these different researches. And yes, I think that's enough for the moment. I'm happy to answer all your questions after the movie.
Great. Thank you, Salome. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started and show the film. I hope you enjoyed the film.
Yeah. Very much, thank you.
Yes. So what we'd like to do next is we have Salome here for questions from all of you, and as well as Maia. And if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat. And Maia and Deborah are going to moderate this part of the session. So go ahead and start populating with your questions, and hopefully they'll get to all of you.
How about Salome? There's a question from Helen. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, she was asking about some favorite memories from the filming. Do you want to share any favorite memories?
Well, let me see. There's so much.
I can go first if you want.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please.
So some of my favorite memories, well, meeting you, Salome, and also Monica, who's doing the body work there. She's amazing, and she's actually come back to Sedona again to visit as well. And then also Tomas, and then also Gabriella, Monica's partner as well. So got to meet all of you, and you're good friends now, and we've had lots of adventures, as well in other locations. Yes, that's been fun. And then also for me, seeing some of my animals who have passed on, that's really very sweet to see them as well. And but just being together, it was fun, and sharing about animal communication.
Yeah, when I just watched it now, and I saw myself sitting with you on the sofa, and you were talking with Bina back in Zurich, that was for me a very, very emotional moment, and it really made so much with me. And I think you can see it, or I'm for sure people who know me would see it in my face, that this was so, it was just a unique moment in my life, I could say, because I felt through your presence, like how you were communicating with her. I didn't see her, but I just felt that this was going on, this communication, and this was unique. I've never felt it that clear as in that moment.
Mm-hmm. I remember also that you were very nervous, leaving her behind, and especially with her having this condition of throwing up and having some anxiousness, and the way she was being I didn't see her in the physical sense either, but I was communicating with her, and she was very relaxed and at ease, and actually just wanting to share about how she seduced you into having a dog when you had no intentions whatsoever. She's quite proud of herself, for that. And then when we saw later, seeing in the film, seeing what she was doing when I was talking with her, she was just so relaxed and really wanting to share with you that, basically, she was doing so well, while you're gone. She loves you dearly, but you're so connected, and not a need to worry and things like that. And you were actually communicating with her and doing a great job. And she really wanted to make that clear too, that you were doing really well.
Maia, we have another question about Bina. Is her behavior or physical reaction to the communication significant in any way?
How about Salome? Do you have any comments on that question? As far as like the way that she was being when she was being talked with, is that significant, in any way for you?
I don't really get that. Also, I read the question here also. Also for me, in that way, that yes, Maia could talk with her about it, and like how does it make her feel, and that it's for her actually not a problem. But also you describe quite closely that it is this a feeling of a tickle.
Mm-hmm.
And that this helped me a lot to understand, or also the way you described it so exactly. And I still can see that in her, because she still has that sometimes. And this is just yes, a situation that is, and I'm glad to know, to understand what it is through the communication. This helped me understand better. Yes.
Yeah, it can be scary for us to see an animal that, you know, throwing up or doing something that we can have a whole different idea about it, you know, thinking that it's very painful and distressing and things like that. And so to hear that, oh, it's like a tickle, you know, I feel really healthy otherwise, and it's not a big deal. It's not like a reflection of my well-being. It's really just, it shows up as a tickle, and all of a sudden then, you know, she throws up. So then it also gives a whole nother access for how can we help you with this, Bina? You know, what helps? And then the two of you are just so connected that what you do for you does, you know, makes a tremendous difference for her, you know, as well. So, yeah.
Maia, a question about your animals. Anna asks if they stay at a place on Dry Creek Canyon Road here in Sedona.
Yeah, actually,
Anna, that they were yours.
Yeah, they're located off of bristlecone pines, which kind of backs up over toward Dry Creek. So it's real close to Dry Creek. Yes, yep. How about any other questions? Go ahead, MJ. Did you have a question?
Hi.
Hi, Gretchen. Is that you?
Hi, it's Lisa. It's Josh. I'm on Josh Thorpe's. It's Lisa speaking. Hi.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi. That was a beautiful documentary. I'm a Reiki Reiki baby, really. Something that I've started in the last few years. But I wanted to know, how do you feel about the horses within the circus arena? What are your feelings for them?
Okay, sure. Good question. Well, I've talked with a number of those horses, and especially Hermes, the black stallion.
Yeah.
And he actually loves performing, and he loves all of it. You know, for him, it's like his way of expressing himself. And one thing that I've noticed with any kind of activity for a horse or a dog, or, you know, anything that we do, some of them love certain activities and others don't like them, you know, similar to us human beings. And so I know sometimes people will have a response when they see a whip, and certainly whips can be misused, and people could use a whip to abuse the horses too. But I just want to make a comment on that, that with the whip, it's an extension of the arm, just because the horses are so big that we need to have a longer arm. And so that's really the purpose of a whip. And that was the point, you know, that was made in there too. And I don't know if you had a thought about that, but I just wanted to mention it.
Yeah, it was kind of more if they travel around, like how, you see, I get this, and I'm trying not to call it a contradiction, but I find an overwhelming sadness of how the horses are kept outside the arena. And this is something I'm trying not to put my own feelings onto at the moment.
Yes.
Working with what is predominantly called sorry, I don't want to take up too much of everyone else's time, but working with a horse at the moment that they call a failed racehorse, and I don't see her as that at all. I just get an overwhelming feeling of just being misunderstood constantly and mistreated. And so as soon as I see anything like that, I find it very difficult to take my own, and I try not to judge, but I just find it quite difficult to get comfort that the horses are happy and safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something you ever feel that you're not sure about?
Well, the thing is, with the communication, we have the opportunity to ask the animals directly how it is for them.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that's a part of the development of our communication abilities with humans and with animals is for us to be able to acknowledge our own reactions to things. I certainly have my own, where I have smoke coming out of my ears for certain things,
Yeah.
and so for me to get that, okay, this is my reaction over here. Now I can put it aside, and now I have a blank canvas, and I want to get to know this person or this animal.
Yeah.
Because there are certainly circuses, and probably more than not, but there are circuses that are terrible, and there are a lot of horse showing and all kinds of different eventing with horses that are absolutely horrendous as far as cruelty.
Yeah.
But and even just basic care. At the same time, there are circuses where they take great care of the animals and they fear them and things like that. So I just like to show up noticing that, okay, I've got reactions, and then now let me listen to the animal and ask questions and hear from them directly. That, and I think that's really our work with humans and animals for all of us. Yeah.
So if an animal communicates to you that it's sad, do you just share love back?
Well, and basically hearing what their requests are, how the changes they would love to have. In some cases we don't have access to the people or to have the influence to change it, but even listening to what they have to say, it can be such a relief for them to be understood and known.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, things have shifted, because
That's a good point.
They're talking with the humans all the time. So it really doesn't help us to feel sorry for them, but it helps us to listen to them. And
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, even in one conversation, even in a class where in the classes I teach, where it's total live communication, where everybody's communicating, and we notice a difference in the animals from the beginning of the conversation to the end, where all of a sudden they're experiencing something different because now they've got their power and they're like, all right, I'm going to transform this, and it's amazing what happens. So yeah, thank you for your question. I appreciate it.
No, thank you. It was a beautiful documentary. I was privileged to watch it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Salome did an awesome job with it. Yeah.
Maia, there's another question from Linda about animals supporting us from the other side, but Salome and Maia, let's take the question. I'm also curious about the evolution of relationship and communication between Bina and Salome since the filming, and how Bina's anxiety and physical physical symptoms.
Okay, great. I'll take that one first about animals supporting us from the other side. And yes, that's definitely true. And a lot of times they will reincarnate too, but they definitely will support us, and they're in communication. It's hard for us to be apart from them and not see them in the physical sense. But just to say, Delight is back. The horse, he passed on at 35 years old. Chanella the goat, she has not returned, but she's with us very closely and sharing her love. Yeah. Thank you for that question. Now, Salome, do you want to comment about Bina and how things are going since the filming?
Yes, well, it's been now quite a while since the filming. Actually, I filmed, last bits in 2017, and now she's turning 9 years old soon, and gotten, I think also from the age, she got quieter, calmer, but also, of course, of the communication that has been done, and I'm still doing it, I say a little bit, or just, between her and me, or just in a very natural way. It helps a lot. And also she's showing me very clearly when I don't recognize my own stress, she would react immediately. So she still does that, and there's still an issue there, but it helps me because I realized she is like how can you say that, a barometer.
I call her an in-house guru.
What?
An in-house guru.
Okay.
That's the way mine are. On my desk, I have 2 of them right here, 2 cats. You know, but yeah, they let us know. We have no, like, we don't have any space to get away from their teachings all the time.
Yeah. And
do you have, no, please excuse me. Go ahead.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I also learned something called the healing touch for animals, which is actually similar to what we see in the movie, what Monica is doing, but it's a therapy on its own. And this helps a lot together with the trust technique. And I just got on that way. I mean, I'm a filmmaker, but now I'm turning into I don't know, animal specialist, and also healer, and I love that. And I'm sure it's Bina who makes me do all these things. And she's, as Maia told me, and this was so revealing how powerful she is, because I always thought of her, oh, this poor little dog. Also, no, not little, but I took too much care of her and looked at her as a little one that needs my help. And since Maia talked with her, I realized, wow, she is a powerful being, and she takes good care of myself more than I'm aware of. And of course, she needs me also, but it's both. It goes back and forth. And I'm very glad for the path I went on. I came on, and having now all kinds of tools of working with her, but also working with myself. And I think this will not stop this process. So, no.
Yes. And you've also taken a class with me, and you did amazing as well with your communication. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, that was, that was a real special experience. First, I thought animal communication, by not being there present, is a bit strange, but it worked very well with you as everybody on the telephone, and just learning steps to communicate. Yeah.
Yeah, great. I think there's another question. Is there another one?
And I think Sandy has her hand up, and then there's a couple of questions on the chat. Sandy, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Hi, thank you very much. Let's see. So I wondered if there will be a follow-up to this movie, like with Salome or someone else, in terms of just continuing getting the message out about animal communication and its benefits for people and animals. And I also wondered, I know Rupert Sheldrake isn't on the call, but if there's any further scientific research that's been done or being done that's goes beyond like what he mentioned, like what we already know in terms of animals know our intentions. Thank you.
Sandy, I recommend going to Rupert Sheldrake's website and experiments on there that he invites and encourages people to participate in, that you can do with fellow human beings using telepathy and also with animals. And so he's continuing on with research. And also he has some fascinating books, including Dogs Who Know When Their Owners Are Coming Home. And he studied both dogs and cats to see what kind of things they know.
Yeah, I've read that. It's remarkable.
Oh, okay, awesome, yeah. Do you have any comments on this, Salome?
I actually don't know. I didn't research for another scientific approach, because for me it was clear anyway that it works. And I even didn't want a scientist in the movie, but they convinced me, like the people from television who gave money for the film, kind of convinced me to have a scientist in the movie. And now I'm very glad that I have, but for me this was enough, so I never went further that path to. Yeah. But I'm sure there must be more about it.
I just think this is awesome, and I hope the movie gets widely shown. Thank you for making it and for being in it, Maia.
Yeah, thanks so much, Sandy. And also, we request, please share it with people. Please share the link that you have now is private just for this event, but afterwards we'll make it known where you can share the film where people can see it, you know, and we can spread it worldwide, you know, so that animals have more access, you know, to really getting their voice. And I'm so thankful to be a part of it, and I feel like I finally got my voice because I felt alone for a lot of years. And
I've taken little classes with Maia, not like, you know, just where I pop in, and you're awesome, and I will continue. Thank you,
Sandy.
Okay.
Bye. There's a question about a further showing. I wanted to throw that to Betsy because she is planning on having a series of films, particularly about wolves and wolf dogs. But again, we're trying to expand the knowledge through this new virtual world. Betsy, could you give us some thoughts?
Sure. This is our second showing of Being with Animals, and so I know that it's available on Vimeo. And I know a couple of people have asked if they can purchase it, and I know Salome can provide that information. We're looking at showing some other films, one particular about Mexican gray wolves, because there's a lot going on with them here in Arizona and New Mexico as an endangered species. Salome has also sent us a link to another film that she is involved with and done regarding wolves. And since that is the primary focus of our organization, we'll probably show a few of those in the coming weeks, for sure. And just as a way to stay connected with everyone about our mission and what it is that we're doing.
And I wanted to give a special shout out to Betsy from Maia and myself, because for a couple of years now, Betsy has been totally open to the concept of animal communication in her rescue work, in sanctuary work, in her relationship with her own wolf dogs. And we started a conversation at her and her husband's dining room table 2 or so years ago. And it's blossomed into a particular passion for me with animal communication and my passion for wolves, and it's a beautiful synergy. So I really thank you both for.
Well, thank you. Yes, and I'd just like to say, you know, Deborah was integral. We have 2 wolf dogs and 2 cats, and Deborah was very integral in bringing the 4 of them together. And people are always amazed that our 2 wolf dogs will lay on the same bed with our 2 cats. Earlier, they were all laying in the same sun patch together, you know. And then there's also been, you know, a lot of the things that I work on can be quite heartbreaking. And Maia has provided wonderful insights. And I'm sorry I'm getting a little sad at the moment because we just had one pass 2 days ago. And I'm able to ask Maia about these things, and it's really helpful to get those messages afterwards. So, and in dealing with rescue, both Maia and Deborah have been able to tap into some situations where, you know, we're struggling to get these animals rehomed, and they're able to tap in and give me some guidance on and some direction for that, because she's right. We tend to put a lot of our emotion and thought on the situation, and what we do is really difficult and emotional. So it's great to get their perspective on how we can be more helpful. So I thank you.
Yes, and I just want to say something, thanking you, Betsy, as well, for being on the front lines of really what's happening with wolves around the world. and saving and helping, assisting so many wolves and people, as well. Just even a couple years ago, there were in northern California, there were like 180 or 85 wolves that were getting ready to be killed, and Betsy was really right on the front lines of making sure that didn't happen, and that they're all in good, safe places and doing well, and they're all around. It's just amazing coordination. It's just, so thank you so much, Betsy. Yeah, all you do. Yeah, we really support. Also, I'm just doing whatever is possible to donate to the organization, Plan B to Save the Wolves. So keep funding those operations, because we can't all be on the front lines like Betsy is. So we appreciate you, Betsy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Looks like you have a few more questions coming through as well.
Yeah, I see one that was a question about maybe differences and similarities between my work and Monica Obi in the film, she was massaging, or not massaging, like she was working on my goat, Chanela, and also the horse, and she also worked with one of our cats at that time too. One of the differences is that I tend to work more remotely, and so not as much in person as, whereas Monica works more often in person, with hands-on, and communicating like through her hands and through every means, as well. And communicate usually, but I don't use photos. And so I'm in a remote, like listening and asking questions is the way that I operate. So it's kind of different that way, but we're all communicating, and and Monica, she's awesome.
Maybe I can add something to that.
Do. Yes, yeah.
That Monica is a shiatsu therapist originally for people. She does that for more than 20 years now. And then since she had her own dog, she started applying it to dogs, to animals, and made also an education. But since her antennas were already very all the work she's doing with the people, for her it was easy also to learn animal communication in a way that Maia does it, with a telepathic way, because she's receiving the messages first through the hands, or mostly through the hands, but then also images pop up, and a clear knowing of something. So she's not doing it while she works energetically. She says she does it before the animal comes, and then she gives it a treatment, and afterwards she might talk with the animal again to say, are you satisfied, or do you still need something? So for me, it's always been two different professions, but they are merging in one another. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
There's a question here about courses. Got a bit discouraged and struggled to feel proper connection and read the messages.
For you, Maia, I would like to practice animal communication. I did courses before and had private sessions.
And breaking up a little bit.
But yeah, could you
what
possibly enroll in a course with
it's actually quite simple, and we tend to kind of overcomplicate and work hard at things as human beings. And so actually I don't even talk about receiving or sending messages. We just talk. And so I would love to work with you, and also if you wanted to just schedule a time to talk, I can share with you more. But I'll put my website in the chat area. And but it's just real simple. Within a few minutes of any class, people are talking with the animals, and no problem. It's actually quite.
Salome, there's another question for you. Did I step on you, Maia?
No, go ahead.
First, thank you for this beautiful film.
Looks like Deborah might have a little. Are you guys hearing that?
That's a very good one. Actually, Bina was always with me when I was editing the film, and it was Maia who gave me the idea of like when I had times where I didn't know how to continue in the editing room. Then Maia told me just listen to Bina, like or all animals, they are here to help you. At first I was like, what? How can I do that? And how could Bina know anything about the film I'm doing? But then I realized she's so in tune with me and everything I'm going through that I realized she's really like always kind of guiding me. So I couldn't say exactly like this or that I did because she said this and that. It's more like intuitively flowing when I opened myself up during the editing when I didn't know how to go further, and then I felt some guidance coming, and I'm sure it's the animals and also all the animals in the film. And from the moment I just had that feeling or that knowledge also that this is possible at all. This helped me so much and gave me much confidence. Now, one could say this is just a matter of believing, maybe, but anyway, it helped me.
I remember to feel supported when we would communicate, and the animals were like, just here's the thing. The animals, I think of myself as an employee of the animals. They're our employers, and they wanted this message out there, and so the main thing was just kind of turning it over to them, and that's pretty much what I do with my work. I show up to work. It's like, okay, what would you like me to focus on today? And they tell me. In fact, I have, like I said, 2 cats right here close, making sure, Yeah, so they're so powerful and so wise, and they have a bigger picture than we do a lot of times as well. Now,
Betsy, there is a question or a comment from Anna, who is very busy, she says, signing petitions about wolves. And so please say a word or two, but also would you please put Sedona Wolf Week, which Betsy's the co-founder of, and then her Plan B Foundation for Wolves. If you could talk about it and put some links in the chat.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, absolutely. Petitions are great because, they generate awareness of an issue very quickly, especially on social media. There are many other steps that you can take that have a little more power behind them. For example, we've been sending out action alerts regarding Mexican gray wolves. There's a public comment period going on right now for them, and then other action alerts that we put out. So if you sign up for our email newsletter, writing a letter from your heart to Game and Fish Commissions when there's a situation going on is one of the best things you can do. And we encouraged a lot of people when we got the ban on wildlife killing contests here in Arizona, is you go to those meetings and you speak at those meetings. And I know for some, public speaking is really challenging, but even if you just stand there and read off your statement, it's still very, very powerful because you showed up. And I can attest to this because recently in Montana, we had many people show up for the Game and Fish Commission, and for the first time ever, they reduced the quota, the number of wolves that they can kill on the zones right outside Yellowstone. They reduced those for the first time ever. And all it took was for people to go and show up and speak publicly. So those are some really important things that, depending on where you live. There's many great groups out there in addition to mine. There's the Wolf Conservation Center, the Center for Biological Diversity, Animal Wellness Action. They all tackle wolf and wildlife issues as well. But I will put my websites in the chat, so you can all join our newsletter and keep in touch with what's going on.
Great.
And both Salome and Maia have newsletters as well. Do we have more questions?
And for some reason, I'm not able to put into the chat. Only I can communicate with you, Deborah. I'll just say that my website is animalcommunicationworld.com.
I will put it in.
Thank you, Deborah.
Maia has written or shared her communications with us in the last couple of months about her conversations with the coronavirus, and because a continuing integral part of her work is also a broader communication with nature, and everything is sentient and everything has a story to tell, and I always feel that I am in service to animals, and they are my dearest and closest advisors. So.
Yeah, thank you, Deborah. We share lots of adventures. And we all have these amazing advisors, all of us in nature, Yeah.
That may be the last of the questions.
Okay. Animalcommunicationworld.com for Maia is in the chat, and Salome put her site with the newsletter, with details about the newsletter. So if everybody wants to grab those, then Betsy, if you want to bring us home.
Sure. So thank you so much, everyone. This was a wonderful project, and it went so well the first time. We did it even better the second time, because the first time Sedona Internet did play a little havoc on us. And I know some of you have asked about purchasing the film, so just please reach out directly to Salome on getting that done. And if you liked what you saw today, please join our newsletters and share that film with others. Yes?
Betsy, we had some, do we have some drawings or something?
Oh, I'm sorry. Salome was going to give away 3 DVDs. My apologies. Yes.
Yes. Thought of it,
Okay. So we had a total of 68 people sign up for the event. Well, those are my dogs. And what we can do is we can have each of you pick randomly a number between 1 and 68, and then I will let you know the names of those people.
And the thing is, with the DVD, I can only send it within Europe because it's so expensive to send it overseas. It's already within Europe, crazy. But so I'm sorry, I have to keep it in Europe.
Okay, that's okay. I think what we might have to do, what I might have to do is separate out those from the ticket sales. And then we can do a random drawing offline, and we can let those 3 people know. Would that work?
Okay, yeah. So that way you can check the ones from Europe. Yeah. Also, I'm happy to give a free session like I did last time as well. Yeah. So we could do a drawing.
All right. Then let's have Salome pick a number between 1 and 68, because that's how many tickets we sold today.
34.
34. Okay. And Maia, I'll send you all the information.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and that is, whoops. Oh, Shelley Calderon, who is actually a very good friend of mine. She's the executive director of Wolf Sanctuary out in Colorado.
All right.
Are you on, Shelley, still?
Well, but then I'll send it to her. It's okay.
No, this is for Maia's animal communication.
Oh, okay.
Separate
I think Yeah, Salome, Betsy's going to look at the list and she'll find the people from Europe, and then she'll have a random drawing of the 3 numbers. Or actually, because we don't know the numbers right now because we don't have them.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's the European list. Yeah.
Separate it out. Yeah. Okay.
And also now, as far as buying the video, we have a question from Lisinka. Hey, Lisinka, a question about buying the video she lives in Spain right now, but for those who live in Europe, is there a link or something or a way that they can purchase the DVD or a download or something like that? Or
yes, there is the link for the English version and all the other language version like French, Italian, Spanish, German. I will put them up next week. There isn't a link out yet, but I could put the link for the English version into the chat.
Oh, okay.
Or even through the website.
Yeah, go to the website.
Through the website, yeah.
Yeah. It's not, or you could always mail me, and then I could give you the link.
Yeah, email to Salome directly, and you can work out the arrangements to acquire the film.
I write here quickly my email.
Okay. And I just want to say to everyone, everyone is communicating, and you can all do it actually so well and so easily, and you'll just be aware that you're communicating more. So I encourage you to just go with that idea and have fun, with it. Yeah.
Well, thank you, everyone, and everyone's put their websites in the chat, so you can reach out to any of us with any additional questions. And please keep sharing the movie, and please keep taking care of animals.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Salome. Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much. Thank you.